Hola a todos, me llamo Emma y estoy aquí hoy para hablar de los beneficios que está asociado con estudiando en extranjero. Estoy aquí en Alicante para el año estudiando negocios internacionales con español, pero soy de Irlanda. So there are so many benefits to studying abroad. I could be here all day, but I think one of the main ones is immersion. So the idea that you have to speak Spanish, you can't really escape it, which is originally quite a scary thought and sometimes still can be quite a scary thought, but it's so amazing. Like, you learn so much. Even when you don't know something, I think that's the times I find where I've learned the most, and that's the things that will stick with me and I'll continue using. And I think the Spanish are just so nice and helpful that you'll find most of them will love to speak Spanish with you and practice their English as well. So it's a good kind of tandem that everyone wins, and through then you make friends and you learn stuff you won't learn from a book. In Ireland, you don't often get the chance to speak with native speakers, so there's only so much you can learn from someone else who's only read it from a book. So here, you'll never learn these things in books, you know what I mean? There's the culture and the people, and just the way they use Spanish isn't always necessarily grammatically correct like we've learned, so kind of adapting our Spanish to being something practical is a huge benefit to us, and it's something that we just wouldn't see when you're not around native speakers. I mean, here you're hearing it all the time, you're seeing it on signs and reading newspapers, and just even being in class is just so different, hearing absolutely everything in Spanish and not understanding all of it a lot of the time, but you're picking it up and you don't even know it. Like, you're hearing it all the time and you just can't escape it. And the culture as well, like, you read about festivals at home, we've had to learn various different celebrations and festivities that they have in Spain, but here, seeing how they actually come to life and how the Spanish celebrate and how passionate they are, and it's just so inspiring to see whole culture just at our fingertips, and it's bringing it to life, really. You know, you've spent years learning Spanish and just in a book in Ireland, in a class, it doesn't seem real, and then when you come here it finally seems worth it, and you get to use what you know and learn what you don't, and it's just the most amazing feeling when you speak Spanish and somebody understands you. You know, it just feels like it's been worth it all the time, and that's what's just the most gratifying thing about, I think, studying abroad. Also, I think another huge benefit and just an interesting kind of topic is seeing a different take on education. In Spain, in class, they're just so passionate about everything, and it's really quite inspiring and motivating, because in Ireland it's very much so you just listen and then you do your work, whereas here it's very interactive, it's super practical. Especially with the business side of things that I'm doing, we learn about companies and how they put practices to use, and so we're not just learning theories, and we're having debates and everything, and they can be pretty intimidating in class when everybody's trying to get a word in, but it's just such a different learning environment, and it's really interesting, and it took me a while to get used to it because I'm not used to being so interactive in class and having so many passionate opinions around me, but I think it's really helped my education and trying to express how I feel about different business practices or theories, and finally get given a voice, and that voice is in Spanish, and it's pretty intimidating at the start, but I'm really getting used to it, I think, and I think it's just going to be a huge benefit for me when I go home, being able to put those practical things to use in class and help expand my knowledge on business in a different perspective, seeing Spanish businesses, how they work, how they do business, really. And it's just so different to Ireland, and not necessarily that Ireland's bad or anything, but it's just, I think gaining an extra perspective is the main thing, and it's just brilliant, and I really enjoy class here. because of that reason, you know, you and that way as well you make a lot more friends because everyone is so much more open and, you know, saying their views on different topics. It makes it easy to kind of get to know someone and what they think. So that's following on from that then, like, we've made so many friends here. I came away with 2 friends from my college, and the Erasmus group here, everyone in the college being so welcoming and wanting to go out with us and talk to us and learn English as well. So we learn Spanish and they learn English, and I just know I've made friends for life here because the fact of living away, I've never lived away, and like away from home, so having no family around, you've kind of had to make a new family. And I know that these friends, I know I'm going to have them for life, and it's just an amazing feeling. It's like we're in a whole little bubble over here, and I just don't want it to pop, you know. And everyone's just so nice and so helpful, and everyone's just there for each other, and it just feels like our own little family. And it just happens so quick. I think everything here is so much more intense because you're on your own. You know, you feel a bit lonely at the start, but it only lasts for a second, you know what I mean? First time we met everyone in Erasmus, everyone just clicks because we're all in the same boat here. We all have to be there for each other and learn together and help each other when someone's having a bad day or something like that. You know, it's great. It's just I'm friends from all over the world. Like, I've made friends that we can only speak Spanish in because it's the only, like, mutual language we have. Like, so it's just amazing. I have friends from Germany, Italy, everywhere, China. Like, there's just so many different people here and different cultures, and you learn so much more than the language here. It's completely helping me as a person, really. Do you know what I mean? It's so much more than education. And especially because I've never lived away here, I'm living on my own, and it's just amazing. It's just gaining that independence, you know, being able to cook when I want, being able to go out when I want, or it's doing my own shopping. Like, it's just so amazing to be alone, which sounds weird, but like, I do think it's helping me grow and help become my own person as opposed to who's around me. And while that does play a part, like my friends and that, but being separated from my family, I think, is such a great thing. And that sounds bad, I love my family, but being here, it's great, you know what I mean? Like, you just learn so much more as a person, and I think it's just an amazing benefit. And I've always been super interested in travel, but from Ireland it can be quite difficult. Not everything is as close. We're not mainland Europe, so here it's so easy to travel, and it's so cheap as well. So, and the weather, you can just go down the coast and you're in a completely different place, you know, you're on a holiday just from a bus ride, and that's just amazing to me. You know, you don't have to go far to be on a holiday, and it feels like a holiday when I'm here anyway. You know, getting to see all these different places in Spain, and it's just amazing, do you know what I mean? I'm never going to have this opportunity again, and I don't see why anybody wouldn't take this opportunity. Like, it's so amazing. And there's a lot of trips that are organised for Erasmus or study groups abroad, and so you get to go with these new people, make new friends, see new places together, and it's an unbelievable opportunity. And I just know I would have regretted this so much if I didn't do this year. Like, you just learn so much all the time. You're learning, and it can be quite tiring because you're switched on all the time, it feels. And because the Spanish is just everywhere, like in Ireland as well, I had a lot of problems with like speaking because it's just so hard to gain confidence when you're not doing it all the time. So here it's just so much easier, especially when you're out with people who are also learning. We're all in the same boat, just trying to get a bit more Spanish and feel more confident doing that. And it's just unbelievable how much my confidence has grown. And it's not that I didn't know my Spanish before, it's just afraid it would be wrong. So here you realise, once you've made your first few mistakes, which will happen very quickly, that it's not a big deal. If you're wrong, you're wrong, and that's when you learn. So it's better to be making the mistakes than to be saying nothing. Do you know what I mean? So it's just unbelievable. And I think, especially with Erasmus, people think it's so much harder to do than it actually is. There's a lot of grants and systems in place, you know, allowing for this to happen, allowing for students to do Erasmus. Even if it's not necessarily part of your course, you can apply to do one. An extra one, or there's Erasmus Plus that goes up to, I think, 23 years old or something like that. So it's always an option, I think, and I just don't understand why you wouldn't take it. It's such a great year, and I know it's going to be the best year of my life, and it has been so far, and I still have a while to go, so I'm hoping by the time I get home I'm going to have so much more Spanish and just feel better using the Spanish that I have. So yeah, definitely my recommendations, definitely do it if you can, and it's going to be the best year of your life. So there you go. So I hope you get to do one and enjoy it.